So now you can see the firewall, right? For example, this is an attacker. This is an attacker 196.0.2.100. You understand? Each and every devices in the network, such as network device, security device, servers, applications, databases, right? Each and every device in the network record the activities. Whatever activities are happening on those devices will be recorded in the form of logs. You call it logs or event. Yes or no? You log in on the Windows device. Which IP you have logged in? What is source IP if you're taking remote access, right? And what is the username, right? What is the username, whether login is failed or login is success. You logged in the Windows, now you open the Excel file, close it, modify it. Yes or no? You created a user, deleted the user, account lockout, account disable. These are different activities. Yes or no? All activities are being recorded in the form of logs. I can log in on the device and see if any user has logged in, I have logged in, whatever activity I have done, or whatever activity my system has done. So the internal activities also, not human, you might not be doing, but some internal, some report has been scheduled, some activity has been scheduled, right? So internal logs also will be recorded. That means whatever activity happening on the entire system, any kind of activities, all are being recorded in the form of logs. I can log in and see what activity was performed, have been performed, right? As well as, for example, firewall, from which some connection has came, what is the source IP, from which connection has come, what is the destination IP, source port, destination port, yes or no? What is the packet size, how much data has been sent, how much data has been received, whether a packet, a firewall has allowed the connection or deny the connection, traffic related logs, those activities will also be recorded. Somebody has logged in the firewall, login fail, login success, some configuration change, firewall interface down, port down, right? These all information will be recorded in the form of logs. Router, whatever activity happening means all your network device, security device, servers, application, databases, as per the compliance requirement, because these all devices are the part of enterprise network. So as per the compliance means government requirement, because we should know, right? Government should know any fraud happen, something happen, we need to investigate. You know, so government said means policy. Government create a policy that we call compliance policies. Yes or no? Understand? Yearly we have to file the compliance, even for any company, normal compliance also, and this is cybersecurity compliance. Get what I mean? So government create the policies. Why government create the policies? Because if any compromise happen, data theft happen, data leakage happen, yes or no? It's not a loss of any only company, it's a loss of country. It's a loss of government, isn't it? It's a loss of public, not the company. The okay, data loss happen, the company has a financial loss. It's not always. Company may not have financial loss also, but it's a data breach of our entire nation. Yes or no? It's not a issue for the particular company, but it's a big problem for entire country if the data will go on the wrong hands. Yes or no? So this should not happen. But in order to safeguard the data, company, see, people are busy in money making. They are not bothered about the people data. Yes or no? So who should be bothered about? The government. Yes or no? Because it's loss of our nation, loss of our public. So certain times a company may deploy certain security tools, but not that greatly. So government ensure that. It is the government, it is your government of the country which ensure that if these countries, these industries or these companies are handling such kind of data, collecting such kind of information, we have to ensure that government has to ensure that data should be on safe hand and should be secure. Yes or no? So company may not follow the right way, right process, may not implement the right tool to secure it, because who want to spend money? People wants to earn only, they do not want to spend. Yes or no? But the government says that it's compulsory, it's mandatory that if you're working on this kind of industry, collecting this kind of data, keeping this kind of data, you have to ensure that customer data should be secure. Now, how these companies ensure that? Government defines So government create a set of rules that we call as compliance policies. Compliance policy is nothing but a set of rules. Means it's the document. Compliance policy is the document based on different industries that, okay, you're working on this industry, that this is the compliance policy. You have to implement these kind of security tools. This kind of process you have to create. Yes or no? You have to follow this process. So government time change review and time change the policies also as per the current trends. Yes or no? They may increase some more, some tools and technology and processes to ensure the security of customer data, user data, public data. Right? They create a sort of policies and they send to respective industry that if your company falls under this industry, you have to ensure that you should have these kind of security tools deployed. You should have people to manage those security tools. You should have SOC team, security operations center. You should have people who can do the real-time monitoring, correlation alerting, and do the threat hunting, incident response, and everything. This is not something that companies are bothering about the customer data public data. It's a government. It's your government which ensure that our public data should be on right hand and should be secure. Yes or no? That's the reason they create the compliance policies and the company has to follow it. Now, whether government has given the compliance policies, right? Whether companies are following the compliance policy, means rules and regulation or not. To verify that, government sends their people to those companies to verify whether they are following the compliance or not, policies or not. We call as auditors. We call them auditors. Every year, the government will send the auditor to those all companies to audit and check whether these security devices are implemented, proper process in place, they're following the policies, they have a team to manage it, each and everything, they verify. Now, I'm the technical people, I'm the technical person, I know the tool, how to manage the tool, right? I may not be able to coordinate and give all the detail because I'm too much occupied. Yes or no? So who will coordinate? So companies hire some people and make them internal auditor who actually coordinate with the external auditor, which comes from the government. Internal auditor will coordinate with you, technical people, and get all the necessary proof and evidence. Yes or no? Deploying all these security tools are mandatory as per the compliance requirement. Deploying your SIEM, I will tell you SIEM, what is SIEM. That is also mandatory. And deploying SIEM and setting up the SOCs are mandatory for many of the companies nowadays. It's not something the companies are bothering, but government is pushing the policies that now the time has been gone. The time has gone that you can deploy this standard device and secure the network. Now attackers are very intelligent. We cannot just trust on the device. We need people who can monitor the entire security posture 24/7 for any kind of unusual, unusual abnormal activities, any suspicious activity. They can monitor, they can investigate and take the action. Means we have to keep an eye nowadays. The standard security tools which work on the signature are not sufficient as per the current trends. So now government is pushing that we need a SIEM tool, we need SOC team who can monitor and respond to the incident. If any suspicious activity happen, they should respond. Means they should take the action as soon as possible. Yes or no? Many of the companies which were not in compliance before, now also being compliant, also those policies for security operations center are being pushed to those industries. We are getting the many calls, many inquiry from UK and some other countries, which were not a technical, some pharmaceutical, some different company, which even do not know what is SOC, what is SIEM. Right? Those companies are coming that we have to implement SIEM and we have to set up the call. They do not know the ABC, do not have team also. But it's a compliance policy they have to follow. Otherwise, the license will get cancelled if they're not compliant. Yes or no? So they are not bothered about which SIEM tool they have to deploy. They only bother about that we have to deploy a SIEM and follow the compliance. Bhaiya. We do not bother about how to monitor whether which SIEM is good, which SIEM is bad. We want a cost-effective solution, cheapest SIEM, and we want to set up a SOC. Yes or no? So this is the government which push the companies, industries to deploy these tools and make the process Yes or no? So that is the reason many of the companies that as I mentioned, are coming and deploying SOC and SIEM and everything, all next generation security tools to ensure the security of data, right? Because you never knows when the cyber attack will happen, right? When actual physical war happens, cyber attack also happens simultaneously. We have seen the Ukraine war also. We have seen in Palestine and Israel war also. Simultaneously, attacker also do the war. Some Israeli side got compromised, some Palestinian side got compromised, some Russian sides compromised, data compromised, right? So both the wars, happens together. Yes or no? So that is the reason it's very important, right? So that we call as compliance and auditors, right? So each and everything is written on the compliance policy. Minor detail that you have to follow. If you implement any tool, what is the configuration? How many users you can create maximum? Small configuration also it is written on the policies that we have to follow. And when auditor comes, auditor asks here the screenshot with the current date. Whether you have device is reporting, collecting the log, generating the log, share the screenshot, download the log and share with the auditor. Lot of your auditor can ask any proof. So those proof evidence, your internal auditor will collect from our technical team. Means sometimes you're working in the SOC team, right? Your auditor will get in touch with you and he asks certain detail on the email. Then you have to gather detail and send it to him. Then he'll share that detail to the external auditor when he come for the audits. Understand? Clear? So as I mentioned, these all security device, network device, security device, servers, application, databases, which is the part of typical IT infrastructure, right? Recording all the activities in the form of logs. Means anytime we can log in and see the logs and check it out what activity happened. Yes or no? Logs are nothing but the evidence to check what activity happened. For example, this is the attacker system. Attacker is launching an attack, right? It's a kind of zero-day attack. Your device was not able to detect what kind of attack it is. Maybe successful compromise may happen. So connection was successful because it's a kind of zero-day attack. None of the devices are having signature to detect it. Somehow you come to know because of maybe some resource utilization, some firewall, a lot of traffic based on the logs, you come to know. Somehow you came to know. But what exactly happening? What activity happening on this? What activity happening? You may have to log in on the router. You may have to log in on the firewall. You may have to log in on the end system. In between all the devices to check what kind of activity is happening. Because it's not a physical activity that human can see who is going, who is coming, right? Yes or no? These are virtual, digital. You cannot see as a human being by eyes. Means what activity happening right now on the network, you have to check the logs only, event only, activity log, then only you will come to know. You may have to log in on the router because router is also coming in between. You may have to log in the firewall to check the activity, whether allow, disallow, what happened. You have to log on the switch, you may have to log in on the end system or server to check all the activities. Yes or no? Without understanding what activity is happening, from which IP connection is coming, what attacker is running, which port it is happening, what activity happened on the end system after successful connection. To understand in detail, you have to check the logs. Yes or no? Then only you will understand what activity you have. Then only you can plan to take the active action. You may plan to block it or some other actions that you want to take to stop this activity. Yes or no? In that case, you have to log in on those devices. Means you have to log in on the router to check the logs. You log in firewall, you log in on switch, you log in on the system, or in between whatever device is coming in. You may have to log in to check all the activities. So, and if you log in, you know what happens? These all different devices record the logs on their own format, their own way. There's no standard, okay, this is the source IP, name is source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, device action. These are easily understandable field, right? But when these devices record the activities, right, you can see if you log in on these devices, you'll have a log file and you'll have kind of means your field that will capture is not easily understandable format. It's kind of raw format. We call it raw format. One log file, you'll have, okay, time start from here to here, then here to here, then log start from here to here, here to here, here to here. Means neither fields are very well understandable, nor logs are divided over one event, two event, three event. It's kind of mass. One event start from here to here, then here to here, then here to here, here to here. And again, proper field name is not there. Okay, source IP, destination IP equal to this one, source port is equal to this one, device extent is equal to this one, right? Byte in is equal to this one, how much data has been uploaded, how much downloaded, right? There is no proper field name. And apart from that, one is kind of mass. From where one event started, where it has ended, there is no proper segregation. Yes or no? And field names are also different. For example, okay, okay, you understand, okay, this is a field name SRC IP. But when you log in on the router as firewall, it's a different field set and different logs. When you log in a window, different field set. Again, it's a mess, but different field set. Sometime they will just record, for example, source IP, only IP is written. It is not written as source IP or destination IP, only IP, then again one IP, then again port, then this port, then action, but no field name. Just recording the data. So if you are expert in the firewall, you may understand firewall logs. See, I may be expert in one device, right? But learn going through different devices there, because you have so many different devices, you may have to log in for doing such kind of investigation, right? Each and every device is recording the activity in a different format, and it's not easily readable format, not easily understandable format. Get it? So whenever attack happens, such kind of zero-day attack, when none of your devices are able to protect your network, to block it, to take the action, to identify it, successful compromise will happen. You came to know somehow, but you want to investigate to take the proper action, appropriate action. Now you have to log in. First complication is you have to log in each and every devices. Then you have to understand the logs. There are billions of logs, millions of logs. These firewall generate billions of logs per day. Lot of logs, right? Understanding log format which is not in proper format, right? It will take time. It is not a single device that you have to identify and have to analyze the log. There's many devices. You have to log in manually, first of all, each and every device. Second thing, you have to analyze the logs, and those logs are not easily readable format. Maybe you will take a full day to analyze, to understand. An attacker will come, do the activity, and go for in next 10 minutes. Done the work, right? That means you are doing the historical analysis. Means you are not able to take the active action. Some attack happen, 10-minute attacker will not be there always for 1 day, 2 days, many days, right? Maybe some attack will happen, 10-minute attacker has been finished. Attacker has done the activity and gone outside, and you are still investigating. You even do not know what happened. Yes or no? What action has to be taken? Because once until you understand what activity happening right now, then only you can take the appropriate action. But right now, your burden is you have to log in on different devices, analyze the logs which are not on easily readable format, because each and every devices are having their own format. There is no standard at all that, okay, all the device will record the activity in this format. There is no standard defined. So this is up to vendors. What format, how they're recording the log, what format they're recording the logs. We are not expert in reading all the logs. Yes or no? I may become expert, but I may not be there always in the company. For example, there are some different people join, they may not understand it. Yes. So don't you think that is very difficult in that case? Even we have the various security devices, but some kind of, because security device work on signatures, predefined information. Signature is nothing but the predefined information, pre-known information. That security research company does the research and get those information, push those information, define those information. That we call a signature. When attacker using new IP, yes or no, new domain, new email ID, the attack will remain undetected. In that case, it's very, very difficult, isn't it? Successful compromise will happen. So what to do now in this case? How to take the active action? How to ensure that as soon as activity happen, it is malicious, we should take the active action. We should block that activity. We should stop that activity, isn't it? This kind of action, this is kind of activeness we should have. As soon as activity happens, we should come to know and we should block the activity. We should stop the attack. Not wait for attackers to finish the activities, isn't it? We should know as soon as attack has been initiated, so that we can block the activity in between itself. But in this case, it's very, very difficult. Log in on each and every devices and going through the raw log. We call raw logs, raw, right? Raw material, raw vegetable you cannot eat. You have to cook. Then you have fruitful vegetable and you can eat, isn't it? So these different devices generate the log. We call raw logs. Device specific logs we call raw logs. Yes or no? So how to make this log in a readable format, so that how to make the vegetable to the curry, so that we can eat it easily, right? So that we can stop the attack easily. So in this case, we have to introduce one device, one tool, one technology that we call as what we call as
SIEM tool.
SIEM tool.
CrowdStrike. Security information event management.
That we call as SIEM, SIM. SIM expert. SIM, that we call as SIM, SIEM. Security, SIM stands for
Security Incident Event Management.
Security Information and Event Management.
Security Information Event Management.
Right. Security Information and Event Management, right? It will have security information and event and management. It does the management. So this is a technology. This is the technology. SIM is the technology, right? And technologies being implemented in the form of tools. Yes or no? So it's a SIM technology. There are many vendors. There are many vendors which use this technology and they develop the tools, SIM tools. I will tell you like ArcSight, Splunk, QRadar. These are the SIM tools. So how our SIM is going to help in this kind of situation, right? So what happens is, if you have the SIM can collect the real-time logs. Real-time means as soon as connection hit to the router will record the activities in the form of logs, generate the logs. Same time, it will forward the logs to the SIM. Means this all network device, security device, servers, application, databases, which you have in typical IT infrastructure, recording the logs recording the activity in the form of logs, and they will send the real-time logs to SIM. The network device, security device, servers, applications, databases, all will send the real-time logs to your SIM. So SIM collect the real-time logs from network device, security device, servers, application, database, etc. Means any digital device that you have in your company, yes or no, which participate in the communication, your SIM can collect these logs, which has certain security concern, because SIM means security information. That means SIM collect the logs which has certain security concern. Yes or no? Because security monitoring only we do using the SIM. So any device, any logs which have certain security concern, we collect using SIM. Understand? I will ask you to write definition. Okay, just understand first. So SIM is the centralized tool or technology which collect the real-time logs from your network device, security device, servers, application, databases, etc. Yes or no? Once it collects the logs, it normalizes the logs. Normalization means you have the different format logs, right? Which is unreadable. Yes or no? So different format logs, it will convert to the common format. Understand? Means unreadable logs, it will convert to the readable format, easily readable format. For example, whenever connection hit to the router from particular IP, router mention SRC is equal to 196.0.2.100. And field use SRC. It's actually source IP, right? But router using a field SRC. When connection hit to the firewall firewall, use the word source. Source is equal to 196.0.2.100. What do you mean by SRC? Source IP. What do you mean by source? Source IP, right? And some other devices, source, for example, IP, source IP is equal to 96. All are source IP only, but name on different different. Government says that it is not going to work. But yeah, when you're collecting the logs on the SIEM, if you're collecting the different format, it is difficult to search, right? Because you do not know router source IP capture under which field, SRC. When you have to search for firewall, you have to write source. When you have to search for this particular device, you have source IP. But meaning is same only, all are source IP only. Unnecessarily, you are giving different format. To simplify this, when the logs will come on the SIEM, right? Your SIEM will collect the logs and it will convert these fields to common fields. SIEM will tell, okay, source IP, source, SRC, all will be mapped with source address field. So either you search for router log, source address, firewall log, source address, source address. Means all source IP will map with source address. All destination IP or destination or DST will map with destination address. Means whenever you want to search logs from particular destination address, destination IP, just write destination address equal to this one. You can see the router logs also, switch logs also, firewall logs, all logs. You need not to use these all field set. Get what I mean? So what happens is, once SIEM collect the logs, it converts this unreadable different format logs to readable format. Get what I mean? And this different field set, which are different for different devices, it has some common field set. So it will map those different field set with the common field set. I will give you more deep dive on this. If you do not understand this, you just understand once SIEM collect the logs, it convert unreadable log format to the readable format. That we call normalization. So once it collect the logs, it normalize the logs. That means it will convert unreadable format, different raw logs, to the easily readable format. Now, once you have logs on the SIEM, you can easily understand it because all the logs will be on same format. It's not different format, router different format, firewall different format. Understand? Everybody what I'm saying? Clear?
Yes,
So-
sir. Thank you.
So as till now, what do we understand? SIEM is a centralized device, centralized is the technology which collect the real-time logs from all your network device, security device, servers, application, database, etc. Once it collect the logs, it normalize logs. That means it convert the unreadable format log to the easily readable format. Yes or no? Now logs came to the SIEM, right? And readable format, normalized logs, right? It normalizes and keep the logs for long time. And keep the logs for long time. See, in these devices have different retention period. Retention period means how long particular device keep the logs, right? We call a retention period. So how long you want to keep the logs on your device, that is called retention period. How much is the retention period means how long, for what period it is keeping the logs. That period we call as retention period. So because these are different vendor, different developer, right? There is no fixed retention period. For example, firewall have 3 month retention period. The Windows have 1 month. Switch has 15 days. But different vendor, checkpoint firewall had different days. Now I want to investigate some fraud activity happened 1 year back. I want to investigate end-to-end. I see firewall logs are there. For some example, some other logs are not there. Some different Windows logs are not there. Because every device have the different retention period. Some devices are keeping the log for a long time. Some devices are not keeping. Some devices are deleting in 2 days only. Yes or no? So end-to-end investigation forensics I want to do, I will not have some logs, some devices log because they have already deleted it. It's good when you have the SIEM. Once you SIEM collect the logs, normalize the logs, and keep the logs for a long time. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Based on your company requirement, if you want to keep forensics related requirement, compliance requirement. Compliance says that when you read the compliance document for SIEM, it is written that you should have deploy a SIEM tool. And SIEM tool will be collecting the logs for all your network device, security device, servers, application, etc. Now you have to keep the log for 5 years. But yeah, it is written for 5 years, man. We have to write the 5 years only. Means you can keep for long, more than 5 years, but you cannot keep less than 5 years. Otherwise, your company will become non-compliant. Yes or no? You have to compliant. Your auditor will come, and being a symptoms active, you'll get a mail from internal auditor. Yeah, do one thing. You log in the SIEM console and take the screenshot along with the system date. That how long we configure the retention period on a SIEM configuration. All is being checked. And why we keep the log for a long time? To identify, to do some forensics. Some fraud happened 2 years back. Sometimes this kind of fraud happened, but we may realize later period. Yes or no? Big data breach happened in Yahoo in 2014, and they revealed, and they came to know in 2016. Yes or no? Sometimes fraud happen, we may not realize at that particular moment, and we may have to investigate, we come to know later period. Now we have to do the forensics. What had happened actually, how the attack had happened, and what was the total impact on the organization. That is the reason we have to keep the log for a long time for forensic perspective. Some fraud happened previously. Understand? So based on your company requirement, right? Security requirement, forensics requirement, right? You may have to keep the log for a long time. So once your SIEM collect the logs, it normalize the logs and keep the log for long time based on your. I will ask you to write. भैया मैं define करूँगा, मैं बोलूँगा definition. I will tell you to write the definition. I will tell you. First, you understand.
What is the longest period for which the logs
There
can
is
be
no
kept in
longest
any
period
institute?
as per your requirement. Means long the period, long the storage. You know what I mean? There is no 100 years also you can store. There is no as such, as such requirement. But the only thing is, if you keep the log for long, see, you have this much tank. In this big tank, so you understand yourself how long you can keep the logs. You understand yourself, but there is no as such standard defined based on a company. But you will not keep unnecessarily logs for a long time, right? Isn't it?
Sir, is retention period assigned by the government or government policy or company policy, sir?
It can be
How long
both.
you can-
It can be both. We have to follow the compliance. If compliance says 5 years, you must keep the 5 years. But your company said, okay, 2 years more we can keep for security requirement, some other thing. You can keep for 7 years. Means minimum you have to follow the compliance. Maximum is based on your requirement. Okay. Now we understand why we are not keeping unnecessarily for a long time, right? This is one tank, small tank, and this is bigger tank. If I ask you to pick the pink balls from this tank and from this tank, which tank you can pick the ball faster, from this one or this one? Now
from a small.
Now here you go. Why we should not keep the log for a long time unnecessarily? Because if you take the log for a long time unnecessarily, searching will be slow. Because now you are keeping all the logs in SIEM. That means you need not to log in at the time of log requirement. Some attack is happening. You need to log in only each and every device, right? Now you got the logs on the SIEM. So no need to log in on each and every devices. The SIEM keep the log for a long time. You have SIEM console. Give the query. You want router log, right? Give the router query. You get the router logs. For what period log you want? 1 day, 1 month. You give the time and you get the logs. You want firewall logs? No need to log in. Logs are here only. You download and again a proper format because normalized logs. Means you need not to log in on these devices anymore. You just log in on the SIEM and get the logs. Yes or no? And that too, long time you have retained. And that too in proper format, normalized format. So that is the reason, if your compliance is 5 years, you can give for 7 years like that, but you should not give for 20 years. Yes or no? Otherwise, searching will be slow. So, but sometimes 5 years, maybe 8 years, 10 years. So compliance also define that. They understand that keeping the log for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years is difficult. Searching will be slow. So in compliance document, it is written, it defined in 2 ways. One is online logs, another is offline. Government says that, okay, do one thing, keep the online log for 5 years. Online means it is there in the SIEM and it is searchable anytime. You can search. You keep 5 years offline. Mean take the archival data backup and keep somewhere else. Some other storage, network storage or hard disk, right? Tapes. Keep somewhere else.
FTP server.
But why it is for safer side? In case some fraud happen and we investigate, so that we can connect it back and make it searchable for that particular moment. But if you always keep for 10 years, the data, searchability will be slow. Yes or no? That is the reason when you read the compliance policy, it is written offline and online storage. Online means within the same, searchable all the time. Offline means archival, some other backup. After 5 years, data will move to archival, some external storage. But the data will not be searchable. There is a way, there is a process to make it searchable, to restore back in case of certain situation. That is safer side, right? Got it? So your SIEM collect the real-time logs from network devices, security device, servers, application, databases, etc. Once it collect the logs, it normalize logs. That means unreadable format, it will convert to the readable format and keep the logs for a long time and enable you keep the log for a long time for security perspective, organization requirement based on forest requirement. Yes or no? And it's enable you searching and reporting feature. That means you have the console, you can write the query, see the logs on the console itself, and download the logs on the various format. Yes or no? Now, in this way, if you have the SIEM, no need to log in on each and every devices. Just log in on a SIEM, download the logs, and again, those logs on properly readable format, common format. All the logs will be on same format, you can easily understand and easily. For example, source IP, SRC will be mapped with source address, destination address, device action, these readable format field. Yes or no? These unreadable logs field will convert to the readable format. Now, logs are coming and being stored on centralized tool. No need to log in on each and every logs. You log in, download the logs, and investigate. But one more obstacle, one process has been simplified here. Okay, at the time of attack, we need not log in each and every device. Just log in the same and get the logs. But right? These devices generate billions of logs per day. Your firewall generate billions of logs. Your Windows generate millions of logs. Means per day, the overall on the SIEM you have billions of logs. Yes or no? If you search, generally in the overall company, you will have maybe 10,000 event per second, 15,000 event per second. You see, 10,000 event per second. In 1 second, your SIEM may receive 10,000 event, 15,000 event. Then 1 minute, how many? Millions. Many millions. Yes or no? In 1 minute only. See, bhaiya, some attack may happen. Some attack may happen, right? If you want to monitor, okay, I want to monitor. So if any activity happens, suspicious activity, I should take the action. But you have to monitor billions of events. Because each and every event, every activity will generate an event, logs. That log you can see in the SIEM. Okay, you create a real-time channel. Okay, any activity happen, you'll see in the real-time monitoring. But can you monitor billions of logs, millions of logs in a minute? Which activity suspicious, which activity not? If you click it, it will open. But how you can monitor? It's very, very difficult, right? If you have 20, 25 people also on the monitoring part, can you monitor millions of log in 1 minute and check on each of what is suspicious? Okay, I have to take it. Not suspicious, take suspicious. Yeah, manually, how many activity will monitor? Per minute, you are getting millions of logs. Yes or no? One activity, for example, you are investigating. In between, another million. Next minute, another million logs came. Yes or no? It's good that you have this tool. So now you need not to log in each and every device. Otherwise, previously it was so difficult. Log in each and every device and see the logs. Now at least you have the SIEM. But again, the problem is actively we are not able to monitor and take the action because of billions of logs. Being a human being, it is very, very difficult for us. Yes or no? To monitor each and every event. For example, I want to monitor brute force attack. Brute force. I hope you guys have gone through the video. What is brute force attack? Right? I want to monitor brute force. Brute force attack means any application on any device which have the login form, means which required username and password. Attacker may try to compromise the machine, gain the access of that machine by trying with multiple combination of user and password. For example, attacker has entered one username, then password. Once then, if it is wrong username and password, it will generate an event. For example, in my Microsoft Windows, generate Microsoft Windows login failure. And which user has tried to access? For example, your name is Ashish. From username Ashish, email will generate and get on the SIM. But is this malicious activity? One time Ashish has logged in and event get generated that Ashish had done the login failure. Is this malicious activity? Is this a malicious activity?
No.
No.
No, right? May possible Ashish might have forgot the username or might have entered because the username password is encrypted, right? Means you'll get the ****. Maybe he entered the wrong password. Ashish had tried again, login failed. Maybe wrong password, something enter. Event will get generate. Yes or no? Ashish tried 3 times, again log will generate. Get it? So once the Ashish try 1 time, login get generate. Till the time Ashish tried 2nd time, some different millions of other logs came because you have 10,000, 15,000 in per second. Some other devices logs came in between. Yes or no? Another try, then other logs came. So 3 or 4 times is not a malicious activity, right? For example, 100 times came. It can be a brute force attempt. If there are same user trying 100 times, user will not try 100 times. Maybe attacker has installed some brute force software and trying to gain the access by keeping the username as same and multiple password. But you think, for example, you're monitoring the logs, all real-time logs, right? Which is 10,000 in per second. So in this channel, 1 log event for login failure, then 10,000 some other event come. 1 log came, 10,000, 15,000 other event come. So will you be able to monitor this brute force attack? No, right? Because not a single event. Once the first event come, 10,000, 50,000, some other event come. Yeah, 10,000, 50,000, big event, in a high number of event, some other event, and then some other event. So it is not the attacker will always do brute force. There are some different type of attack. So you are not going here to monitor just brute force. There are so many other attacks. If you think that okay, I will create a separate channel, separate monitoring for Windows brute force, but yeah, only Windows brute force will not happen. There are so many other type of attack. Yes or no? It's very difficult. Even Windows brute force also, you may have lakhs of user, many times field login activity happen. Yes or no? And in between some other log happen. It's very difficult, isn't it? So even we have the SIEM here, for example, this tool, it's very difficult for us to monitor each and every event because there are billions of events per day. As a human being, if you have 10, 100, 20, 25 people also, they cannot keep an eye for each and every one, investigate and open it. Yes or no? Understand the challenge?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir.
sir.
it has the feature which can overcome and which can help you out here. In this case, now we can ask our SIEM to monitor each and every event on behalf of us. We can ask our SIEM, Bhaiya, do one thing, you keep an eye. Whichever event coming on the SIEM, you keep an eye. If any malicious activity found, you generate an alert. Get a mind? You have billions of logs per day. Yes or no? Not all logs are malicious. Not all activities are malicious because logs means activities logs, right? So not all activities are malicious activities, isn't it? Getting a point what I'm saying?
Yes,
Not
sir.
all
Yes, sir.
activities are malicious activity. See, this is your SIEM. All events are coming like this. We are asking our SIEM, do one thing. Whichever event coming in the SIEM, you keep an eye on behalf of us. And you find any malicious activity, then generate an alert. Generate alert, these 100 to 100 alert then we can investigate as a human being. Bhaiya, we can investigate billions of logs, but 100, 200, 300 per day alert we can monitor, we can investigate. That is good for us, right? SIEM said, okay, if you are saying that I can do that, but I can do that, I will generate but on what basis I will decide? Because billions of logs coming in. How will I understand which activity is malicious and which activity is not malicious? In what basis I will decide? You said, okay, you monitor all the malicious activity, but how SIEM will understand? SIEM is asking you, saying you that, okay, you said that you monitor and generate an alert, but whenever any logs comes, on what basis I will decide, okay, this event is malicious or this sort of event are malicious. So I should generate an alert to inform you that, bhaiya, now you have to take the action. This is a malicious, this is an attack. Yes or no?
Is the correlation rule.
Right. So now we have to tell SIEM, okay, this is certain situation. Once it is matches, generate an alert. Yes or no? SIEM cannot do itself. We have to tell on what basis SIEM has to identify particular activity as suspicious and generate an alert. Means we have to define the condition. That condition we define in the form of role policy, and that rule we call as correlation rule.
Correlation rule.
Why we call as correlation? Because it will correlate the condition. For example, once the login failure event happen for the user Ashish, shall this SIEM generate alert? No, right? In this case, some of the activity a single event is suspicious. Some of the activities, even a single event is suspicious. For example, critical server, the critical server got shut down. The critical server hosted application which runs 24/7 got shut down. Once it gets shut down, it will generate an event. Event will come to the SIEM. We can ask our SIEM, even a single event come for shutdown, generate an alert. Because shutdown, only single event will generate, right? If any machine shut down. So if any server shut down, generate an alert. So even a single event, it generate an alert. The machine shut down. But in case of login failure, single event is not suspicious. If within short period of time, 1 minute, 2 minutes, right? If there are number of event, 100 event, 200 event, then we call it suspicious, because this does not look as a human activity. If you try 2-3 times on a Windows machine to log in, if login got failed, you may not try 100 times. Yes or no? There might be possible that attacker has installed some brute force software. See, if you have watched that video, what is brute force attack, you must be understanding. That is the reason I'm asking you to complete the homework on time only, right? So if you machine has been compromised, attacker has installed brute force software, right? Attacker will try 1 time, fail. So attacker may keep on the software username and try multiple password. And this is a script program, not a human. It can try 1,000 times also within a minute to log in. If any password work, attacker will be able to log in. But got failed means any attempt, it will generate the event. 1 time login, generate event. Within short period of time, multiple login fail event will get generated, and all the event will come to the SIEM. So we have asked SIEM to detect this activity. If within short period of time, multiple login failure happen, it can be a brute force attempt. Maybe attacker is inside and trying to do the brute force, especially for Windows I'm talking about right now. Yes or no? So we ask our SIEM, do one thing, you monitor Windows brute force attempt. If there are 50 login event, failure event in 1 minute from same username. It's the same username, right? Because in the company you have lakhs of users. Sometimes Ashish will do legitimate user, sometimes this will do. So it should not trigger for every user. For some specific username, if there are 100 events, for example, within 1 minute, 2 minutes, it should generate an alert. Yes or no? Not for every failure login, right? So first of all, we have to define the condition, because so many different logs are coming. So how your SIEM will identify, okay, this particular event is for login failure. So first of all, we define the what? Condition. In the condition
and format.
In the condition, we define how your SIEM can identify it's a Windows login failure event. Yes or no? Some specific unique values. Based on that, we can identify what is a log. So Windows login failure condition I will define here, so that any event will come, it will try to match. Okay, it's login failure, then it will start. Get in mind? Now, so login failure. So this login failure event, based on the condition, the SIEM will identify it's a login failure event. Now I have to define if there are 50 login failure in 2 minutes, for example. Yes or no? Then there is another tab called as aggregation. This is this aggregation. This is available in the SIEM, how to write this condition. Okay, and then the tab is there where we have to define the condition, so that SIEM can identify the login failure condition, right? So the condition we have to write so that SIEM can identify particular event as login failure. Then we have to write another field called as aggregation. In aggregation field, we define how many login failure event. Means condition you have got log failure, then how many event? For example, you want 50 event. For example, you want 15 event. Then there is a field called as event. How many event? 50 event. Then how much time? Then we define the time. For example, 2 minutes. Means if there are login failure happen, Windows login failure, if there are 50 event in 2 minutes from same username, you have defined. You have option to define from same username or not. You define from same username. So once the first event will come, login failure, you have given 2 minutes, time will start. Now it will start matching. Further event come, second event come, okay, second event, 2 minutes, 2 events. So once it reaches 50, once the first matching event come, time will start. It will wait for next 2 minutes, total 2 minutes, wait for 49 more event. Within 2 minutes, if 49 more total 50 event come, it will generate an alert saying that Windows login failure from same user. High number Windows login failure from same user. You can define the name also for this particular alert in the we call attribute. We all are going to do this practically. Whatever I'm explaining you here now in words, we'll perform it practically. Okay, but it's very important to understand theoretically. Then only we can perform practically. Yes or no? So I'm just giving the overview understanding of the SIEM, right? Each and everything we are going to perform practically here. Okay.
Sir,
so
when
now,
we will start practical?
But yeah, theoretical understood. You understood already. Just patient.
No,
See, 3.5 month training. You have to be patient. Everything will be covered, right? If I do it right now in the practical, you will not understand. Okay. I told multiple times, 2 times I told about practical. Is asking when you will start practical. If you are able to understand, then I will give the lab access. You can do it. Okay. So what I'm saying is 15 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, right? Then I can define from same user, right? Now, whenever any logs come, right, it correlates condition along with the aggregation. Only this condition matches will not generate an alert until unless this also matches. Means it is correlating the condition along with the aggregation, and we can define the action. If this condition matches, what action has to be taken, like generate an alert, generate an incident. Yes or no? So we define this condition along with the aggregation, and then it will generate the alert with matches. Then these 100 to 200 alerts per day we are going to monitor. Means we have asked our SIEM to do the real-time monitoring. We will not monitor each and every log, billions of logs. We'll ask our SIEM to monitor each and every event. You're coming in, right? And monitor. And we will write certain rules, maybe 60, 70 rules, different. Just I have given Microsoft Windows login failure alert right now. We may have 60, 70 different correlation rules to detect different suspicious activities. Whenever event will come, any event, you have 60, 70 rule, it will check if any rule condition matching. If it is matching, it will start aggregating them. If it is for single event, single time, then it will generate an alert. But if you write 20 event in 2 minutes, then it will hold and wait for another 19 event. Once completely matches happen, it will generate an alert. If it is not completely matching, it will reset. It will not generate an alert. Right? Get in mind? So instead of monitoring billions of logs manually, we have to monitor 100, 200, 300 alerts. Yes or no? Understand? It has been simplified, right? Instead of monitoring billions of logs, we are asking our SIEM to monitor those billions of logs itself. And once based, so this policy means correlation rule, we have to define ourselves, right? And then alert will get generated. Sometimes SIEM has generated the alert, then you investigate it, right? And sometimes you found, yes, it's any, that's why you are a human being. Because sometimes alert will generate, you find it is not a suspicious activity. If it is suspicious, you will take the appropriate action or sign to someone to take the appropriate action, right? If it is not suspicious, you will place the code. You have option. Then you have the option, you make the required changes in rule condition. we are monitoring suspicious activity only, right? Abnormal activity. Sometime alert will get generated and you find that, okay, that activity is not suspicious. If any alert will get generated again and again for not suspicious condition, you can do the required change in the rule condition. So that next time onward, it will not fire unnecessarily. False positive means it's not a attack, it's not an suspicious activity, right? So we can do the required modification in the rule condition so that it will generate majority of time whenever there is a suspicious activity. That we call as fine tuning of the rule. Fine tuning means doing the required changes. Yes or no? So SIEM collect the real-time logs from network device, security device, servers, application, database, etc. Once it collect the log, it normalize logs, convert the unreadable logs to the readable format, keep the logs for a long time based on your company requirement, security requirement, forensic requirement, compliance requirement, etc. And enables you searching and reporting. You can search the log, give the time, queries, save the time, and search, download the logs. Apart from that, it also enables you real-time monitoring. Real-time monitoring, keeping the eye on each and every logs, correlation and alerting. Real-time monitoring, correlation and alerting. This is very good feature, right? Now we need not to monitor each and every event. Just monitor few alerts. That's the reason for monitor 24/7 in a small SOC, at least need 6 people. 6 people means to cover all 24/7 shift. All 360 people, 6 people, right? Otherwise, we need many people, 30, 40, 50 people. Still, we cannot ensure the monitoring of all the event, billions of event. Yes or no? Now it is a feature that we have seen real-time monitoring, correlation and analytics. Why we call it real-time monitoring? Because each and every event is being monitored real-time. Correlation is correlating the event along with the condition along with the aggregation, and alerting. When the correlation condition matches will trigger an alert. So real-time monitoring, correlation and alerting. That is another feature of SIEM. Now you write the definition. If you have any query, anybody has any query, before I ask you to write the definition.
Just,
Sir, what is the
just repeat what is
fine tuning, sir?
tuning once?
What? One by one?
Fine tuning, sir. I think everybody
Fine
is
tuning?
asking the same question. Yes.
Fine tuning.
Yes, sir.
What you're asking?
Just define or
Fine tuning, fine.
explain in short what fine tuning. I think we.
Your voice is not clear. What I'm saying is, fine tuning means you have written correlation condition, right? Rule condition. Certain times alert will generate, and you found that okay, that is not a suspicious activity, but multiple times such alert is getting generated. So you will do the required changes in the condition of the correlation rule, so that next time onwards it will not generate an alert. Okay, certain time will happen that attacks actually happen, while alert did not generate. While you have the alert, maybe aggregation you have given high 200, 300. Suspicious activity happened, but alert did not get generated. In that case, you will require changes on the rule conditions so that alert will get generated in that case. So doing the required changes on the rule, right? So that rule will trigger whenever there is a suspicious activity will happen, and rule will not trigger unnecessarily for legitimate activity, valid activities. To do the required changes, we could do the fine tuning. You will very initial level we are right now. I'm just briefing about the core concept. However, fine tuning of the rules also will be covered here. Practically, how to do the fine tuning the correlation rule, right? Clear?
Sir,
Yes. Yes.
if alert is not generated, then how will you come to know that
We'll cover it here.
it is
We'll
a
cover it.
suspicious event?
We'll cover it. We'll do it here practically.
Okay.
I am just asking you to understand now. Deep dive. If this will happen, what will happen? If this will happen, what will happen? We'll cover it. Okay. My motive was to ensure you understand what is SIEM. Okay. All the features we are going to understand deep dive.